Hey guys, welcome to That Florida Feeling. I hope everybody's had a good week. Thanks to everybody who has been on the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever we're calling it, YouTubes. I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all are awesome as always. Don't forget to check out Unfiltered Studios. There are a lot of great podcasters over there. I know I say it every time and I mean it. If you are looking for a new podcast, you have missed out if you have not checked out Unfiltered Studios. You will literally find something for everyone over there. There are just amazing people. There's Stupid History Minute, which I absolutely love, because it's literally about a minute. You learn some great facts in a minute. It's super easy to listen to. Keb's great about it. Pedals of Support's really good. Mama D is amazing on that. Victoria's amazing on 12th Street Talkback. Chronicles of a Virgo is amazing. She's got some great advice. Cindy's great on hypno wellness. Talks about, like her obsession with shiny objects one was just really good. I didn't even think about that. You guys just need to check it out. And if you haven't heard KJ and A, I actually got to be on that one recently. They are great. They do a lot of stuff with comics. They're great to listen to. They're hilarious. They're super relatable. Check them out. Thanks to everybody who's listened to last week's episode. Pepper was great. I love her. It was great to have her on. If you haven't checked it out, go listen to it. She's one of the pinups and pumps from Florida. She also has her own floral. It's going to be Sharp's Florals. Check her out. She is amazing. She just was so inspirational to talk to. I also have a lot of podcasts from the last 3 years. So if you're looking for a topic in Florida, I've probably already talked about it, or if I haven't, you need to send me an email at thatfloridafeel@gmail.com. I would love to talk to you guys. I do have a lot of great stuff lined up, but I'm always open to suggestions, or even if people want to talk to me, send me an email. I love hearing from you guys. You guys have given out great suggestions, especially things that I didn't even think about. So keep them coming. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, all the love, everything. Today, I am going to talk about a place in Orlando that I recently visited. And it is a tourist place. And I'm going to preface this with, this is not something I would normally do, but this is one of the worst places I've ever been to in Orlando. I dare say Florida. And I just could not, I didn't stay long. I just could not wrap my head around it. I couldn't deal with it. I just did not get it. So I'm going to tell you the history of it first, and then I'm going to tell you my take on it. So, I am actually talking about Gatorland in Orlando. It's a little south of Orlando. It's on South Orange Blossom Trail. And Gatorland's been around for a while. Gatorland is a 110-acre, we're going to theme park. We're using that very loosely. And wildlife preserve, we're also going to use that quite loosely from what I saw. It was founded in 1949 by Owen Godwin. It used to be cattle land, and a lot of that really was. I mean, it's still being very newly developed. And Gatorland is billed as the alligator capital of the world. And Gatorland features thousands of alligators, and I can believe that. But it also has some rare alligators. I can't pronounce this, but Lusic alligators, so white alligators, not albino, but they're whitish. And I'll post a picture on my Instagram. It also has crocodiles. It also has capybaras. There's a petting zoo. It has a bobcat and a serval. It also has attractions in the park, including a breeding marsh with a boardwalk and an observation tower, zip lines, an off-road swamp vehicle tour, a mini railroad, alligator feeding shows, alligator wrestling shows, an aviary, a petting zoo, which is what I mentioned, and then educational programs. The breeding marsh area of the park was actually used in the 1984 movie from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I'll get to that in a second. The park is known for buying, you heard that right, buying, but also rescuing nuisance alligators from trappers that would otherwise be killed for their meat and skin. Gatorland manages the live alligator display at Gaylord Palms Resorts in Kissimmee, also, which is not very far from there. Now, all right, so first let's talk about the white alligators. So White Gator Swamp is an indoor area with a museum kind of feel to it, and you can walk in, and it's not very big. It's maybe it's a little bit bigger than that, maybe 12 feet. You kind of walk up one side, and it gives you kind of a displays about what these kind of alligators are. And you can see albino alligators. They actually have a baby one, and next to a regular alligator. Two little babies in an enclosed area, and it gives facts about, where it comes from. And then it also tells about the loose, I cannot say it, but those, and how they got it and how they're different from alligators and when they were first spotted. And then you can actually see these alligators. They've got, I want to say I saw, I think 3 today. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're creepy. They're very, very creepy. And then, when you first go in, though, they have where you can feed the alligators. They're not babies. They are not babies. They are juveniles. They're at least 3 to 4 feet long. And they have little pools. We'll call them pools. And there's 10 to 20 in there. And people can buy fish and feed them with little poles. And the birds like to steal the fish, which I think is hilarious because it reminds me of the birds at Disney who like to steal people's food. They also have a zip line ride, which travels across a pool of alligators. I'm not going to say whether or not I feel like that's safe, but they do it. I actually know a lot of places that have alligators do that. I just, if you're brave enough to do it, you're brave enough to do it. Go you. But the main thing that they do is that they do keep a lot of alligators, and they do tell about it. I did see 2 shows going on while I was there. One guy was explaining, the basics of an alligator. He was showing how, their jaws, they explaining about 1,000 pounds of pressure per bite, which is what you crush a car with, which is true. And he was, showing how easy it is to hold their mouth shut and explaining why you don't want to go near one and why you leave them alone and how big they are and how old they are. And he's not wrong. He's really not. Pretty much everybody knows who's been to Florida. You just don't mess with gators. You leave them alone. They technically are still kind of endangered. You just, it's illegal to possess an alligator outside of certain things. You just don't mess with them. They do their thing. We do our thing. They don't really attack people. They are known to kind of attack dogs every now and then. But Gatorland is really an attraction for tourists who want to see alligators up close. Because God forbid you can't just drive down freaking half the roads in Florida and see one. Because it's not like we don't have enough water. I digress. Sorry. So, anyways, they do tell you about alligators, and they do explain some things. They are slightly educational. Now, here's my problem, and here's what I saw. It is a tourist trap in the worst sense. When you go in and you feed these alligators, they do have, 4 spots you can feed them, really. They do have bigger ponds where the larger alligators are. They don't really recommend you feeding those because, that's the bigger ones. They can pull you down. The baby ones, they prefer you to feed. I feel like this is just giving people a unrealistic sense of alligators, first of all. I feel also like I understand when you have a zoo and you have conservation, you are doing it for the right reasons. Why do we have Florida panthers in our zoos? It's to save them. Why do we have pandas in our zoos? It's to save them. Why do we have red pandas? For the same principle. And tigers. And you have over probably 40, 50 alligators in this one little area that you're allowing tourists to feed, where they put fish on a pole. And I couldn't figure out how they were putting the fish on there. And letting these alligators fight over them and eat them. Now, I don't know how they're clipped on or how they were kept on. So are they putting them on with something and then feeding alligators foreign objects? I don't know. I couldn't tell. I did get videos of it because I was so surprised at this. And I'm usually not one to be completely overwhelmed at this, but I was kind of disgusted at what I saw at Gatorland today. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And the further you walk in, of course, you're literally walking over massive ponds. And it's all made of wood, so then I'm kind of like thinking, okay, if this gives out, we're screwed. And as I'm standing there, I had to take a phone call. I'm standing there and I'm watching this pond. This behemoth alligator had to be 13 feet long, probably 1,000 pounds, surface, and just start swimming towards me where I'm standing on this boardwalk. And goes underneath me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, if this gave out, I'd be dead in 2 seconds. And, then here comes more of them just surfacing and swimming, because apparently this is also where they have another show where they feed them. And people were gathering, and I guess the alligators thought it was feeding time. Well, it wasn't. There was no show going on, but the alligators saw the people, and so they've kind of trained them that when they see people, they're going to get food or something's going to happen. And so say this alligator escapes. And he sees people. He's going to run up to them thinking they're going to give him food. And these are just massive alligators. Now, do we know that any of these alligators or all of these alligators were saved? No. It says they have a thing of buying alligators and rescuing. Were they bred there? We don't know. They haven't disclosed that. So basically, these alligators don't seem to be super, super afraid of people. And these people are being taught that it's okay to be this close to an alligator. Neither of these feel okay to me. Some of the enclosures were really small. When you went to see the white ones, they were not huge for a 13, 14-foot alligator. They didn't look or have a good feel to them. The whole place really stunk half the time. The petting zoo was crammed full of goats. I don't even know where the capybara was. The bobcat and the poor serval. I own cats, guys. You know when a cat's pissed off. I've never seen such an unhappy cat in my life. If you've ever seen a serval is technically an exotic animal. They have massive paws. They are on a meat diet. And this thing looked so unhappy. Just so unhappy. The bobcat didn't even move. Wasn't even going to entertain anything. Their enclosure looked straight out of something you'd see in some redneck's front yard in the back hills of Tennessee or West Virginia. Like, it straight caters to tourists and rednecks. And, then they have all these cages of snakes or don't even look big enough to hold anything. And it just, every 5 seconds, do you want to buy a beer? Do you want to buy ice cream? Do you want to get a picture taken holding a venomous snake? No, I don't. I don't think the snakes were venomous, but no, I don't want to do anything. And then they have a show where you can see, all the animals. And there's, they're actually holding this. I did see venomous animals right up in front of kids. I understand you're a trainer, but animals and children are unpredictable. And now you've put them together. And so just certain things about this just didn't feel safe to me. And it just didn't feel great. And it just felt like such a bad tourist trap and such a bad combination. And I just couldn't get behind this place. on so many levels, guys, that I can't even recommend this place to you. I can't tell you to go spend the $35. Like, yes, they give you free parking. Woo! It's not even that good of a parking lot. I swear to God, I hit a pothole that realigned my car and then aligned it and realigned it again 4 times. Like, and usually I'm not one to give the bad. I'm like, hey, it's great, you should try it, or, go and make your own decision. No, just don't even waste your time on this place. This is literally the worst place I've ever been, and how it is still open is truly beyond me. They had a little crocodile exhibit, and I'm assuming it was cut off from the rest of this big marsh where I guess they did the Indiana Jones filming, and if so, it's tiny for this 9-foot Cuban crocodile. And then, you keep going back and there's this massive alligator. There's 2 of them in this one pond. And I got a picture of it. And, he's one of the movie stars. He's one of the alligators that they've used in the movies. And, in this shallow pond, it's got little fish in it, so it can be more than 2 feet deep. And it's also got a little redneck house. And it just, this just such a tourist trap, and just so many alligators in one spot, and I just cannot, it just did not feel right. Like, I felt for the alligators. I felt like there's just way too many things in a way too small of a confined area for it to be safe or good, or I don't know. All I can tell you is that don't spend your money there. Because if you really want to see an alligator in Florida, just go drive down a freaking road next to a lake. Or go to Lake Jessup. If you're already in Orlando, go to Lake Jessup. It's not that far. Go to Lake Eola. It's not that far. Go to any lake and wait. You'll see one, I promise, for free. And it'll probably be bigger. And it'll be scared of humans, so it may not charge you. I can't get behind Gatorland, guys. I really can't. And if you've been and you disagree with me, that's absolutely fine. That's your opinion, and we're all entitled to them. But this is the one time on that Florida feeling where I'm going to tell you I didn't get a good feeling, and I didn't get a Florida feeling. And, it was so bad that when I left through the gift shop, because, of course, every time you leave something, you have to leave through the gift shop. And they want to sell you everything with their name on it. The manager must have known that I absolutely hated it because he was trying to bribe me with something. And it was awful. I just had the worst experience. The workers didn't look happy. I felt for the alligators. I felt for the goats. I felt for the bobcat and the serval. I even felt for the snakes, and I am not a snake fan. If you guys have heard the other podcast, that's just not my thing. But I felt for every animal in this park, and I'm using park lightly, that this is the one time on that Florida feeling you're going to hear me say, do not waste your money, do not waste your time. Just don't. Just do not. I feel this is on the level of Lolita with the Seaquarium in Miami. I don't understand how this place is still open. I do not understand how this place gets top marks. This is an absolute trash tourist thing, and I just can't get behind it, guys. And I'm sorry. And if you guys have been and you don't want to listen to Florida Feeling anymore, that's fine. I just can't support Gatorland. And I want you guys to know that before you come to Florida and before you come to Orlando and walk into possibly what I walked into, because I was overwhelmed and I got upset. And if you're an animal lover like I am, I don't want you to feel the same way. So, with that being said, I'm going to tell you a personal Florida man story that I got to witness this week. I was walking down iDrive this week, and I encountered a Florida man. He was wearing Doc Martens and a shorts. I don't know how to describe what this man was wearing, actually. It was shorts and a suit jacket. They matched, but it had short sleeves. The suit jacket was short sleeves, and he had no shirt on. And it had bright blue, and it had tulips all over it. And he was selling balloons. And he passed me, and I mean, I was staring. I'm not going to lie to you. I was staring hard. And I had to ask, because I'm that person, and I said, what are you selling balloons for, man? He goes, I need to buy some weed. Okay. So if you're on iDrive and you encounter the Doc Martin balloon selling man, he just needs his weed, guys. Yeah, at least he's honest. So that is my personal Florida man story for the week. So yeah, guys, there's plenty better to do in Florida or even Orlando besides Gatorland. You can encounter them anywhere else for free. And if you're on iDrive and you see a man coming at you wearing Doc Martens and a short suit, just help him buy his weed. That's all I got. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for listening. Be nice to one another. Wear your sunscreen. Drink your water. And as always, guys, that's your daily dose of sunshine.
This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.